This is confusing. There was two things going on simultaneously, but it's all part of the same plan. So the Citizens Connect is something that the city of Boston initiated. They had a grant. I don't know where their funding source came from, but they're initiating it in Boston, and then now they are actually launching it to up to 20 communities across the state. We are one of those communities. So we recently got a call saying that we are one of those communities and that they were going to be embarking on training. The way they've kind of said it is, so we're going to be doing training over the next few months. You guys don't need training, you're all set. So that made us feel good.
Yeah, right.
That I think we've got a really good understanding. Part of this is we've actually been trying to do something like this, but there really hasn't been any infrastructure. So the fact that Boston is able to build it and then duplicate that technology across the state, that's exactly what you need. I mean, you don't need every single town trying to reinvent the wheel. I mean, imagine if every person who used the cell phone had to invent the cell phone first before they used it, right? It's just what you want to do is you want to be able to say, this technology is, once it's created, and it can be used and expanded. And that's what we're trying to do, is to say that let's not spend all this time recreating the wheel. Let's actually try and use existing technology that's there and then build upon that. So I actually think it's pretty neat that we will have the same, kind of Citizens Connect system as Boston. And if this spreads across the state, people move from town to town. I know, I've gotten flat tires in other communities. And hitting potholes. Who do I call? Or do I say, you know what, just because I'm in that other community, some other citizen should call that, not myself, even though it was my issue. So this enables us to say this is going to make the state a much better place because it can help municipal issue get resolved very quickly. So the whole idea of the Citizens Connect is the next few months we're going to be really embarking on training so that everybody sort of understands. Not everybody's at the same level. There's other communities that don't even have an IT department. So we're very lucky here that we've actually been very focused on IT improvements and been moving towards something like this. So once the training is done, then this, the sort of the software will be proliferated, and there's it's not just the software, but there's sort of like a portal. These portals on our mobile devices and our computers. That's the thing that actually talks to each other, and that's where we'll get some training in how that actually works. But the interface is supposed to be fairly easy because the work has been done to say how do we do the complex software development so that it becomes easiest for the user to use. So that's where we are right now. Because now we'll be basically training ourselves in how to understand the user interface so that we can get the word out to the public. And then how do we make sure that we have all the appropriate interfaces in our computer so that when the public uses their text, it actually then does go to the right place. We don't send a Board of Health question to the Public Works Department. We don't send a pothole, to the mayor's office, right? So that's where we have to say, we have the best human computer in the world doing that, but we need to make sure that these things understand how we specifically operate here. Sure, and
There'll be an interface on, look up Citizens Connect Boston on your phone real quick, but it's a quick interface on your phone that you just make a link to or a tweet or whatever you want to do, however you want to interact with the city. Oh, there we go.
Look at that.
So it's
cell phones everywhere. No, we've got Androids and now we've got the iPhone.
Yeah. So basically that is the screen for Boston. We'll have a very similar interface, and basically
that's pretty simple.
Yeah. You're a citizen of Fitchburg and you see some graffiti, you don't like it, you hit the button. If you want to attach a picture, you can through your phone, and you just say, I see this problem. Can you resolve it? And you hit send.
So is it a website or like an app?
It's an app.
It's an app, okay.
Yeah.
So it would be an app that they would have to download in order to
and that's where the cost is. The infrastructure to handle the volume, the increased volume, and then the cost itself of making the app. Now Boston has done that, so now we're going to benefit from that.
So if you want to create a report, you press new report right here, and then these are pretty straightforward, right? So you don't have to look up a number and trying to call somebody. Is there a pothole? I think people know what potholes are. Street lights, graffiti, a sidewalk patch, a damaged sign, or other. Then there's the plowing, the sanding, and then there's the unshoveled
That's
sidewalks.
cool, right? I mean, right
That's
there.
really cool. So you press on one, and you can look at this. You can add a photo. You can add. It's just this already, and a lot of the phones are linked to where you are. So this is 166 Boulevard right here. So this probably automatically taps into whatever
GPS
system
locations.
is here. And then you can, I don't know, share with the public. You can share with the public. You can be anonymous. You can put in additional descriptions here. So, I mean, this is
Yeah, it's cool. It
this
is
is
cool.
this is something that people do all the time. So there's almost, I think part of it is to say there's almost no training with folks.
So that's the front. That's the face of it. They hit send. Then that data comes into the city, distributes to the person that needs to see it, pulls a ticket, a work ticket. It goes straight to our database now, interactive, without any paperwork, without any phone calls, pulls a ticket for the work to be done, and responds to the citizen of when it's estimated to be fixed.
Okay.
And the person who's handling it can actually send back a personal response saying, okay, it's all set, thank you for your help.
So there's a couple other things that happen. First is, oftentimes if it's a quick, if it's like a pothole, or if there's, like a tree across the street, we often remove it because it's a public hazard. But then, we don't spend the time. We might want to say, we want to get 10 potholes fixed, then 8 potholes, and then give up 2 potholes because we want to then get back to the office and just make the phone calls back, right? So what this does is it makes it automatic. And it makes it public, so the public can see. So this goes to, this is just opening up, this is a list of what's out there. So it shows you, again, this is in Boston, but it tells you when something was opened, which means when was the case filed, and then when was it closed. So this says that trash strewn alleyway 59 and 61 Hemingway Street. That was a case that was opened 46 minutes ago. And then when something is closed, when it's done, then it'll say it's closed X minutes ago. So there was something at 50 Gainsborough Street. It says rat. Can somebody grab this? That was closed 38 minutes ago.
I doubt they grabbed it.
Can somebody? Yeah.
We're not going to grab rats with this application, okay? Don't
So-
note to self.
Here, I mean, we don't. So, I mean, look at these though. I mean, these are things that people would not normally call about, but these are the quality of life issues. When you have, Boston created all these new bike lanes. They spent a lot of money doing that. They have all of these cars that like to park there, so that becomes an issue. Graffiti on MBTA sign. Heavy construction, it's not allowing people to sleep. Can somebody look into that? So it's noise, trash, streetlight graffiti.
Any non-emergency, if there's a 911 call, you need to call 911, obviously.
Right.
But
Illegal
the
driveway,
non-emergency,
yeah.
quality of life, where you just want to get something resolved, this is going to be the avenue now. It's going to be awesome. So I feel. And the other thing that's kind of nice about this is that it goes right into an application that we had just bought in the last year called Cartograph, which is our work management application. So we're going to work smarter with this. There's 20 potholes in the city this winter. The person going out to fix those potholes will automatically get a location of all the potholes and be able to work across the city in a much smarter way than, oh, I got to go up to the north part of the city and fix one. Oh, I got to go to the south part of the city, and you're wasting all this time driving. Also, the patch, they'll know exactly how much of the material to take with them using this application and the Cartograph application. They're all databases that work together now. They'll be able to know exactly how much they need to do the job, and not have to drive all the way back to the Broad Street to grab more. That's where we get smarter. That's where it starts to really work.